I am Razio.
What's up, guys? Razio here, and apologies if I sound a little shitty. I think I'm starting to get sick, but the show must go on. This video is going to be more of an audio video rather than a visual video, so if you have shit to get done around the house or you're driving to work in your car, this will be a good video to listen to. As always, I'll leave some eye candy on the screen, but watching it isn't of the utmost importance. Now, the topic I will be discussing today, I've touched on in several of my other videos, but it's something that has really been on my mind lately and warrants bringing up again. Also, if you watch my stream, all you know that I'm starting to focus my YouTube channel more on guides and rants and discussions on Final Fantasy XIV and the MMO genre. And I'm kind of moving my video YouTube content away from just the reporting news type channel. There are plenty of those fucking channels out there now, and it doesn't interest me to post, you know, recap videos of events and patch notes like all these other motherfuckers out there. They've got it handled. And you know what? If you want to know my opinion about something coming out in the game, if it's that important, I'll make a video about it. Because obviously, if something is in a patch note or a news item arises that I think is worthy of mentioning and talking about, you can bet your sweet ass I'll cover it on my YouTube channel. But if it's something just about a game or the game you're just interested in my opinion, shoot me a private message or hit me up on my stream and I can answer it there. But the generic, hey, here's what's in the patch notes videos are going the way of the fucking dodo. So be aware of that. Okay. Now that that is out of the way, it's time to get to the topic at hand. Now, before I go any further, I want to preface the video with the statement that I love Final Fantasy XIV. IMO, it's the best MMORPG on the market right now, but this doesn't mean that it doesn't have its faults and it's exempt from what I'm about to discuss. I want to discuss how the MMORPG genre has a serious problem. It has an identity crisis. Now, I want you to think of any product. It can be any product at all. Okay? You got that product in your head? Good. Now ask yourself, who is the target demographic for that product? It's probably fairly simple to answer and doesn't require much thought at all to come up with the answer. Well, I'll give you some examples. Tampons are marketed to women as their target demographic. McDonald's is marketed towards fat asses, lazy bitches, kids, and drunk people. And Gillette razors are a target to self-loathing manginas. The same mentality can be applied to nearly every video game in existence. Sports games like the 2K Sports Series, Madden, FIFA, etc. are all marketed towards their target demographic, i.e. sports fans. Games such as Call of Duty and Fortnite are marketed towards younger teens and preteens with gambling problems and parents who just don't give a fuck anymore about raising them. Real-time strategy games are designed for Koreans. Okay, that last one was a joke, but you get my drift. You know where I'm going with this. Each game company isn't going out of their way to change their demographic because they understand that its product slash company, it's company stock suicide to do something like that. And even the cocksuckers at EA who make their sports games are not trying to make FIFA appeal to people who love Japanese role-playing games, for example. They don't go out of their way and spend money and alter their game to appeal to every audience that there possibly is, other than the audience who actually buy and play their games. So, let me ask you this now. Who is the target demographic for a game like World of Warcraft? Well, here's the answer, which is especially true for World of Warcraft. Not even Activision Blizzard knows anymore. Or I guess a better answer is their target demographic is everyone, which translates to their target demographic is no one. And this wasn't always the case. Back when MMORPGs were fresh and new in the mid-90s, they had a very clear target demographic. The pen and paper D&D style RPG fans. Those are the people who were targeted as the primary audience of MMOs. Now, as I've done in many of my videos when talking about the old school MMORPGs, I'm going to make references to Assurance Call, EverQuest 1, Dark Age of Camelot, because they are the MMOs I have the most experience with in that period of time. When these games were in their prime, there was no such thing as a theme park MMO. I mean, they were just MMOs. They were all pretty successful and were the first real games of their kind to require not only an initial purchase of the game, but a continual fee paid monthly to be allowed to continue to play. Why was this? Why did this work? Well, MMOs were a breed of their own back then. They were the only games that didn't just have expansion packs, but had monthly updates that added more content, and the game had to have extra fees to maintain their dedicated servers that the players played on, because up to that point, any game that had any kind of online functionality did peer-to-peer hosting. But MMOs had dedicated servers. This was the birth of the games as a service, quotation marks, product line, which has since turned into complete fucking cancer. So much cancer! But I'll get more into that later. These MMOs knew who they were marketed to. You were dropped in a world as a complete noob with no direction or idea what to do. There were no quest hubs or in-depth tutorials flashing on your screen. You had a weapon and a shirt on your back, some basic information, and then you would just start exploring, making friends or enemies. Being social was extremely beneficial and required, and it was required if you wanted to get too far in the game at all. You weren't some legendary hero that saved the universe over and over and over. You were just some adventurer trying to survive in this dangerous new world. And to add to all of that, the updates constantly added new things to find. When an actual expansion came out that added a huge new area, it did it in a way that didn't make the old world irrelevant, as we see very commonly happens today. So how did we get from there to where we are now? Well, the answer is simple. Fuck, my brain is not even functioning right now. It's so burning up. The answer is simple. WoW and greed. World of Warcraft was the first MMORPG that used the instant/lockout based model that became the theme park MMO. Now, to be fair to the creators of WoW, this isn't a bad thing in and of itself. They were simply trying something new, and to be honest, it worked just fine. However, what a lot of people fail to remember is that the game in vanilla, Burning Crusade, and most of Wrath of the Lich King was still heavily based on pen and paper D&D world exploration style of play. As we know, WoW's success reached heights never thought possible. And so what happened? Greed. And not just greed on Blizzard's part, but greed of all the companies that wanted to replicate its success. What they failed to realize, though, was that all of WoW's successes, they were all gained and achieved before the merger of Activision, before looking for group, before looking for raid, before the anonymity of the servers and all the world-destroying changes that took place in the game. So the companies that were copying WoW, End of Wrath of the Lich King, and after, were copying a product that was now designed to fail. You see, in general, the theme park MMO model isn't sustainable long-term. The more content you add, the more irrelevant your old content becomes. The higher you push item levels, the more bullshit catch-up mechanics you need to waste time and resources on and add to the game. And the more new areas you make, the more the old areas die off and become irrelevant. All of these failures were not present in the old school MMOs. And why is that? Well, it's not only because the old MMOs were all sandboxed by design, because that's just what an MMO should be. So what happened? What caused the problem? Again, back to greed. Imagine a man holding an armful of quarters. So many coins that both arms can barely hold them all. He's got a lot of money, at least $100 worth of coins in his hands. Then he sees a shiny, nice, crisp $20 bill on the ground. He reaches to grab it and get it, but in the process, drops all the coins on the ground, losing them all down the drain just to get the $20 bill, which he gets. This is Blizzard Entertainment. They had so much success that they started to view every gamer as an additional player to bring into the game. The issue with that, though, is MMORPGs based off D&D and pen and paper RPGs do not appeal to the average RTS, FPS, sports gamers, shit like that. So what do? They start adding in those features into their game to appeal to those player bases, and they forget their original player base in the process. You see, they try to bring the game to the player instead of the player to the game, and let me explain what I mean by that. In the old school MMOs, anyone could go out and buy it and play it, but the world was unforgiving and merciless. You had to adapt to the world of the game and the game's mechanics in order to get better at the game and succeed in the game. The game didn't ever cater to you. Much the opposite is true now with all these instances and multiple difficulties, gear treadmills which become irrelevant each patch, party finders and queues, and huge single-player based events and content in the games, all designed to make the game cater to you instead of the other way around. The core of what MMORPGs were originally designed to be, and who they are originally marketed for, has been rotted out at its core and lost. All in the name of greed. And of course, because WoW was viewed as so successful, the things that destroyed that game and made the game ultimately become a steaming pile of shit that it is now, has been copied in almost every game since then, since Wrath of the Lich King that's come out. I mean, just look around. How many games come out now that are games as a service, quotation marks, that are always online and are demanding more and more money for expansion packs, DLC, and other shit, microtransactions. And people are really quick to call them MMORPGs, when in reality they really aren't. They are instance-based queue games. You join a queue with rides, a theme park. Example, Destiny, Destiny 2, Division 1, Division 2, Anthem. Hell, even sports games now have social spaces online with their games. The core identity of the MMORPG has been lost. And as I said earlier, I'm not saying every MMO that follows the instance-based theme park model is bad. I have a lot of fun playing Final Fantasy XIV, and I'm eagerly awaiting its expansion Shadowbringers in June. But I long and am always looking for the MMO to return to its roots, where the gear treadmill stops, the world is alive and dangerous, and the snowflakes melt, because you have to actually invest time and adapt to the game, as the game shows no mercy and caters to nobody. A true D&D type of online experience like EverQuest 1, like Dark Age of Camelot, and Assurance Callware. Will such a game ever happen again? Who knows? I doubt it, unless I make it myself. And the bottom line is, it truly does make me a little sad that most players that love MMOs like WoW, Final Fantasy XIV, never had a chance to experience an online world the way they were originally intended to be, when they weren't, you know, baby back bitch lands where everybody gets everything for free and no effort. But, you know, and where the world was really alive all the time and new content didn't make old content irrelevant. But we'll see. People think Ashes of Creation is going to do that. I already doubt that, considering the fact the thing they're pushing real hard is fucking Battle Royale mode, which is to, you know, it's popular right now, so it makes money. So I have my very big doubts about that game. But anyway, guys, this has been Raziel. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree? What are your thoughts on this topic? I'm really interested to know what you think. Follow me on social media, i.e. Twitch and Twitter. And if you like my content, be sure and share the video and subscribe and hit the alert bell. If you hate my content and love to piss salt and vinegar in YouTube video comment sections, then please seek therapy, because you watched a video that was pretty long and was all opinions and content that you disliked. What the fuck is wrong with you? Get the fuck out of here. That cactus isn't gonna go fuck itself. Anyway, guys, I'm going to get out of here. Keep in mind that I will be giving away a free copy of Shadowbringers, Final Fantasy XIV's newest expansion, for the PC in May on my stream. If you want a chance to win it, you just simply have to watch my stream to get points that everyone gets just for watching. There's other ways to get more points, but just by watching it, you accrue points, and you have plenty of time to do so. And then you can enter a drawing with it and hopefully win a copy of Shadowbringers digital download for the PC. Anyway, guys, I'm fucking out of here. I'm gonna go drink a gallon of NyQuil and pass out. As always, my friends, keep it real.